Before we head underground where it's 55 degrees year round, let me give you a little bit of history. The mine opened up in the year 1898, okay? 70 years after gold was first discovered here in Georgia. Now, it remained open for about 8 years, and in 1906, they actually went bankrupt here, okay? When that happened, they decided to blast the entrance shut to the mine to try to keep people out of it. But in reality, what happened is the mine actually flooded. And this mine remained flooded for 80 years. In the 1980s, they drained all the water out of the upper level. They were once again getting ready to commercially mine here again. The price of gold plummeted, okay? And that's when they decided to open up for tours instead. So in 1991, 30 years ago, we gave our first tour. This is one of the largest hard rock mines east of the Mississippi River. There's miles of tunnels down here. One of the largest veins of quartz ever found in the world was found right here. It's our first stop. It's one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and look out in front of you. What you're going to see is a really large open area. As a matter of fact, if I take off my hard hat, lean over and look up, well, I can see a whole bunch of clouds up there. I can see some water dripping down, but I also see a bunch of trees up there. Now this large open area that you see right here in front of you, this is where the miners found a whole bunch of gold. However, when they finally discovered this area, well, they told us it looked much, much differently because they told us that most of that was actually filled with white quartz rock. And in some places, they told us the quartz right there, it was over 20 feet wide. Now, all the gold that is in this mine is going to be inside of quartz, okay? So what they had to do here throughout this mine is take a whole bunch of dynamite and blast all of that quartz out so they can start to get all of that gold out of it. Now, they found so much gold right here in front of you that in one day, just one single day, they found 54 pounds of gold, okay? That's 800 ounces, and with today's gold value, it's worth around $2 million. And it was found in one single day right there in front of you. So they found a whole bunch of gold just hanging out right there, okay? What you're going to start to see is a really large piece of white quartz rock. Now, friends, that right there, that's exactly what these gold miners are trying to find. Because all the gold they're finding, it's inside of that quartz, okay? You see, the gold they're finding underground, a lot different than gold we normally think of. We love to think of gold maybe in a nugget form, maybe flakes of gold. However, they're actually finding gold in a powder form underground. Now, they call it the powder gold, flour gold. And the reason they did, they told us each piece of gold they're finding, it was the size of a piece of baking flour. It is really, really tiny piece of gold, okay? So what they're going to have to do here throughout the mine is drill a bunch of holes in those rocks, fill them with dynamite, and they blasted all that quartz out. And eventually, they took it outside the mine. That's where it started this long and dangerous process to get the little bitty piece of gold out of that white quartz. That white quartz that you see right there in front of you, that's the reason they spent 8 years underground. Look at that. Right there. Little tiny thing. See it right there?
Yes.
we got some much larger ones down here. There's another one there. Well, smaller UV uppermost level, okay? Now, while down here, today we're going to look at the tools. All the tools that we're going to look at are tools that are put these holes right here in the rock. One of you guys tell me what they're going to fill these holes up with. Anybody?
I would say dynamite.
That's right. They're almost going to completely fill these holes up with dynamite. The first couple of tools that we're going to check out are these tools right here. I am certain that we know what this is. That is a hammer, weighs about 5 pounds. The miners had a really interesting name for this tool. They refer to this as a hand steel. And the reason that I think they call it a hand steel, I think it's because someone had to hold it still with their hand. Normally, people want to use me that stuff when we're giving our current circumstances. Guess I'm going to have to hold it for myself, okay? What the miners going to do? Time they made that turn, they're actually crushing a little bit of rock, and that's how they make a hole deeper and deeper. Now, the miners work down here, they told us they work down here 12 hours a day, okay? During that time, they actually had to drill 2 of these holes, and on average, each one of those holes, well, they are around 6 feet deep. These tools right here, they average just 1 foot out in the rock. It is very slow. First 2 years they worked here, the only tools they had. Okay? From the very beginning, it's going to be extremely slow. What we have here is a tunnel. It takes us down to another part of the mine. But as we start walking down the tunnel, you are going to start to see some minecart traps, but you're also going to start to see a whole bunch of water. Now, the reason for that is this. The level we are on today, happens to be the only level that has an exit. What that simply means is it's the only level where water is able to exit the mine and go outside. So when those miners are going to work down there, they have to pump all the water from down there and bring it up to here so it can flow outside. And I'd love to show you how they pump water. And that's what I want to do. The miners told us they use hand pumps, okay? We got one of their pumps here, so basically what they're going to have to do for about 12 hours a day, they'll stand behind the pump, they're going to push it forward, pull it back, push it forward, and pull it back. Now friends, every time they're doing that, what they're going to be doing is taking some water from down there and bringing it up to here, so that water could eventually flow outside. Now, even to this day, we still have to pump water. If we do not, the water that's down there will slowly start to rise and eventually flood the level we're on today. However, our way is a lot easier. We put a submersible pump down there, okay? Put a floater on it, that water gets to a certain level, our pump automatically turns on. Watch out for these tracks, okay? These are the original tracks. They're really neat. At one time, a 15-ton locomotive used to ride on them, okay? All they do today is trick people. All right, friends, tell you what, if you want to look up right here, you can see where the miners drilled up. It looks pretty cool up there. Yeah, they call the quartz anywhere to include up. Yeah, the holy grail for us would be to find that locomotive. It disappeared well over, probably, the last time it was probably seen would probably been a little over 100 years ago. What we're going to talk about is electricity. That's because electricity is an important part of the mine's history. In the year 1900, 120 years ago, they actually started generating electricity on this property. Now, when they did that, that allowed the city of Dahlonega to get electricity, but that also meant some parts of this mine were able to get light bulbs. Now, in the year 1900, the light bulb, it's barely 20 years old, okay? It's a really young invention, and we would think that having lights underground, well, that'd be pretty neat. But let's just say the miners, well, friends, they quickly realized their lights, they were not that neat, okay? Let me explain why first. Let us talk about ours. Let's say I was to unscrew that light bulb and pull it out, or if I was clumsy and I bumped into a light bulb with my hard hat and busted it. The rest of our lights, they shall remain on. Now the miners, not so lucky. That's because they had their lights wired differently than we do. You see, they told us that if one single light bulb, just one bulb stopped working, every single light bulb in the mine would stop working at the exact same time. That's exactly what I'm demonstrating for you. I'm going to show what it's like when lights stop working. That means I'm going to turn the lights off to the mine. Here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Now, the reason that I will always love this part of the tour, I honestly feel like as if it's the only part of this tour where each and every one of us can finally get an idea of what it's going to be like to be a gold miner working down here 120 years ago. You see, most of this mine simply did not have lights. As a matter of fact, the miners that worked at this very tunnel right here, they told us exactly what they're going to use for light. And they're going to use a candle or a very, very small oil lamp. So all for us to do right now is try to use our imagination. Let us imagine that we're down here working. Right now, at this very moment, there is 20 stories of rock above your head. That is 200 feet of rock. We are 100 yards away. That is the length of a football field from the exit to the mine. So imagine down here working, say, swinging a hammer, maybe handling dynamite, or you could be that gold miner who's having to hold that hand still, really hoping your miner friend swinging that hammer does not miss, because this is how much light we would have. I know we're all here because of gold. Trust me, I know gold all too well. This is honestly what I always hope all of you leave understanding. 120 years ago, in 8 short years, just 8 years, some men worked down here. During that time, they were able to blast miles of tunnels and some of the hardest rock on earth. They did so while each carried about this much light. Friends, when you think about it like that, they were able to accomplish a whole bunch with very little. Northeast Georgia is known to have a lot of garnets. They are formed very far underground. We're talking miles underground, okay? It takes a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, and a lot of iron. This area used to be volcanic a long time ago. You got some quartz veins here, okay? They said the average quartz vein, typically when you have a hard rock mine, it would be something this wide right here. But the veins of quartz that they were finding in this mine, as you could tell, were much, much larger than a pencil width. Yeah, this is a pretty big vein. That area where we started the tour, that whole area would have been filled with quartz that looked like that. That's how big the veins were here. We are walking in the direction that would take us outside eventually. So that way, we're take you outside. This is what I call them upside down power poles, but this is what they would have their copper wire. And it would have been on this side of the track. Earlier, I told you I was going to show you a way to make drilling holes a lot quicker, a lot more dangerous. Here's that way. It's called a drifter drill, okay? It's powered by compressed air. They got these drills in the year 1900, so 2 years after they started working here. The only way for me to show you that danger, well, I'm going to turn that drill on. That's exactly what I'm about to do, okay? Keep in mind this drill is well over 100 years old. What that simply means is it's a really old drill. Try to imagine 20 of these drills on at the exact same time, okay? That's how many they could use at any given moment. But I'm also hoping that one of you would be able to tell me what big problem these drills all share, okay? So here we go. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and... Unfortunately, they did not have much in the way of hearing protection either, because they actually told us that the miners that started to use these drills, a lot of them actually started to get deaf. They started to lose hearing. So friends, I really hope you can leave today understanding what it's going to be like to work out here 120 years ago. It is going to be dusty. You know it's going to be dark. I think above everything else, it's just going to be loud. It's going to be very loud. It went on for 8 years. We've got some more tools up here on your right. You'll notice on the ground here, there is another drifter drill right here. What's really neat about this drifter drill is it can give you an idea of how deep some of the holes would have been made. Look at it. I've actually read stories about holes as deep as 10 feet. And 3/4 of that hole would have been filled with dynamite. This is a stoker drill. It's another type of drill that they would use. What's really interesting about this drill is that it can only drill up. And that's what we've had here. So anytime you're inside of a mine and you drill up, it's called stoping. And this is a junction tool. I know we've all seen where they pull up on a lever and you change the direction of the track. Right there it is. So of course you would have had a pretty big junction here and here, and this one right here would allow you to change the direction of the track. Pretty neat. All right, so follow me in here. Here's the drippy tunnel. As you can see, it is pretty drippy. All right, I'll say it. So, the bats that we get down here to hibernate, I call them the eastern, you can come up a little more, I call them the eastern tricolored bat, okay? They're very tiny little things. I'm going to show it to you. Your line will probably be better, but it's going to be right there. All right. Right up here, I want to show you this. This is my favorite piece of quartz. The reason it is because it gives you an idea of what that entire area, what it would look like when they had found it. And it would have been a lot of this, and a lot of iron, and a lot of sulfur in it. So it's really pretty cool. But I call this the salamander tunnel. Summertime, it's filled with salamanders. Go. All right, let's see if we can find one of them. Cooler mines, they tend to hide out pretty good. Oh, there's one. He's all somebody. There's a salamander always there, center of the crack. Right there. Pretty big one, about 5 or so, probably about 4 inches long or so. Y'all please go on Facebook, leave us a review. We love reading them. That's how we get towards better, okay? So y'all please do that for us.
This thing even on? Damn. Yeah, that's what the cave looks like from up above. Will I use this in a video? If you're watching it, I did. But I'm guessing no. Hey, what's going on, guys? I know that my buddy Anthony has already done a video here, and I'm gonna go check out the Consolidated Gold Mines. And I don't know if I'll find gold, but these folks definitely have a gold mine, because it's $18 a pop for this thing. So let's go check it out.